Alright guys, welcome to the Red Report. That's where we take a look at the news and happenings from around the verse and bring it to your star-speckled little brain. Before that though, I've got a little advert for you to watch. But it's on brand, don't worry. It's not like Manscaped or something. Have a look. Anybody remember this place? Or what about this model? Or even this model? The UEES Retribution in all its glorious detail. This was made by Pigeon Spaceport, who are now officially licensed by Cloud Imperium and have now laboured to bring you this for you to own for yourself. I've managed to secure a partnership with Pigeon Spaceport and you can get a 7% discount using the code in the description. These are fully ABS injection moulded with their own custom tooling. Incredible detail with very high fidelity and functional wing articulation. They come in the Avalanche, the Stinger and the standard paint sets. There's a full metal base stand, collection grade wooden packaging, and they have years of industrial design and engineering experience. If you pre-order them now, you will get free shipping and tax-free delivery, as well as a special numbered wooden base stand. You should treat yourself, you've worked very hard this year. Managing fleets and hunting down rare armour sets is a very daunting task for any citizen. A big thank you to Pigeon Spaceport for allowing me to get this out to you guys in as fast a time as possible. Merry Christmas. I know I'm rubbish at making adverts, but buy one, buy three. I've transferred the maximum amount of savings over to you guys just as a little thank you. I would much rather you guys had model ships than I had food. It's fine. It's fine. A couple of new members that I want to shout out. The Ripper, Huggies Actual, Ratfink, Graham J.A., Commander Syntax SC and Zeal. Thank you guys for riding aboard the Starship Red Resort. Don't worry about, the unstable warp core and stuff. That's for tension building and atmosphere. Anyway, with all that out of the way, let's get on with the show. So, first up, big ticket news. VR is in 4.5. I don't know why, but I did not see that coming for some reason, even though there were hints in the files last month. This has made so many people happy, and besides one or two things, it seems to be functioning pretty well. Sylvan CIG says this is not our full VR launch. When that day arrives, we will make plenty of noise about it. We are rolling out today as an opportunity for some early hands-on time, very much in the spirit of open development, so you can jump in, see how things are shaping up and help guide what comes next. That is what I like to see. And this includes a full VR FPS mode and a theatre mode. So if you love flying in VR but for first person combat you would rather be playing on a big 2D screen, you can do that at a flick of a button. In the future they're looking to bring full motion controller support, full body tracking and face and eye tracking integration. Don't know why, but this is just such a nice little bonus in this patch. I think the VR community has been really looking forward to this for a long time, and I don't think even they expected it to come so soon. So this is fantastic. A personal and heartfelt message from Sylvan CIG. I joined CIG in 2018 to make this dream come true. I've poured out my heart and soul into this and I'm extremely happy and proud to see it finally in your hands. There is nothing quite like seeing our amazing and detailed ships in VR and grasping the grandness and scale of the Star Citizen universe in this way. I've spent lots of time integrating the theatre mode and dynamic stereo switch so you can seamlessly swap between VR and desktop anytime without any restrictions. I want to see someone building a contraption where you can pull the headset from the ceiling to enter VR and take it off to switch back to desktop. Please share a video and ping me if you accomplish that. Thanks to everyone who helped me in this journey and make this dream come true, especially Jay Schneider, Yogi Klatt, Jill, Sothar, Bolt, as well as Sean T for teasing it in the summer, all the QA for rigorous testing, and the man himself, Chris Roberts, for giving us all the opportunity to become real space explorers. This is just the beginning and there's still lots to do, so hit me with your feedback and suggestions. Bravo, good sir. You've done an amazing job and I really can't wait to check this out. Widescreen Jesus is now VR Jesus. Let's go over some of the latest patch notes. So they've doubled the critical timer for the power plant, so that engineers have more time to save the ship from blowing up. But also they've made it so that only the power plant will receive damage now, and not other components and thrusters. This happens when a critical part such as the ship's hull reaches 0 health. Now, they've opened up a new engineering thread, and this isn't going down well, this change. I'm not sure what the thought process was there, but the primary concern by most seems to be this brings back the light fighter meta. They can just keep hitting anywhere on the hull and eventually the power plant will explode. And many are pointing out that full ship death was said to never be a thing. And I do remember something about that. I'm pretty sure at some point it was said your ship will only be in soft death now. So I'm unsure as why they've left the ability to blow ships up still in the game, or why all the other components are now taking 0 damage. A lot of flip-flopping around by CIG on this, and this move does kind of indicate that they thought there was something critically wrong with the previous builds. But we could be wrong, maybe they're just taking it back out for some other testing reason. It's a weird one. I've not tried it myself though, so it's hard to comment. Increased shield regen and health for size 2 shields. Okay, this was a big issue. I did try and test the ships with more than 2 shields and how they would cycle through those shields, and it either wasn't implemented or it was a complete mess. The shield strength was too low, and because it only took up like a third of the bar, the shields were regenning too slow. So this is a good fix. Again, I've not tested it though. Fixed shield balancing for capital ships, further Idris M and Star Lancer tack armor updates to differentiate military variances. Yeah, so it looks like they're going to start going into each ships individually now and start balancing things on a per ship basis, just to get things tuned in to where they think they should be. Added fuses and more filled salvage canisters to ship component shops. Setting default interaction of harvestables to be store instead of carry. Awesome stuff. In the patch before that we had greatly increased repair speeds and RMC use for repair tools. Size 7 and 8 weapons balance pass. Reduced overall Idris and Perseus ballistic damage and max ammo. So the size 8 went from 8,500 down to 5,400 and the ammo count went from 2,700 to 900. Okay. Size 7 damage went from 6,750 down to 4,000 and the ammo count went from 951 down to 800. Pulverizer got balanced a bit, the damage going from 31 down to 27. The aim time went up from 0.4 to 0.46 and cave harvestables now show up via scanning. Increased range at which FPS minables show in scanning. New marker config for harvestables and ground mining. Oh, that's awesome. Doors can now be locked open so proximity will not trigger. So plenty going on the PTU, plenty iterations getting put out consistently, balancing, tweaking, the feedback is constant, it's progressing rather swiftly, but there are some significant performance issues on the PTU. Hopefully they get all cooked up in time for Christmas though, because releasing it as is would be a terrible idea. This guy noticed an edge case IFCS bug, that's in flight control systems. Yogi Clat, I can't go into much details right now, but legacy IFCS has indeed small performance differences between coupled and decoupled, and it's related to the way how the acceleration inputs are processed at the edge of the velocity space. New flight model has a slightly different implementation that fixes that specific issue, and also it doesn't have the SCM drag anymore. Let me sit here for 5 minutes to figure out what that means. Okay. So I think it means the egg shape that allows you to move in different directions at various speeds will be gone effectively, but what will remain is just your actual speed capability in all those directions and the natural resistances slowing them down. So you'll probably still fly in an egg shape, but it won't be a virtual enforced game mechanic bringing your speed back down. It'll be air resistance or hitting thrust capacity, I think that's what it means. So this question is about the AMD global illumination, and they're asking about the multi-bounce indirect rendering and where it came from. Ben Parry says we already have a multi-bounce solution that we developed internally, but as I'm not 100% happy with the results, I'm interested to see what the original authors did with it. Another question, would it be better for CIG to use this AMD version so whenever they do new updates you will be able to implement more easily than having to improve your version? Ben Parry, while it sounds appealing to just use the sample version unmodified, there are definitely trade-offs that they've made that affect things like responsiveness and stability that we wouldn't have been able to change easily, as well as errors in their code that we fixed. On top of that, there's quite a lot of stuff that's game dependent. For instance, we want the surface lighting calculation to work similarly to the main lighting pass. so we have to have our own shader there so it can read shadows, mask out lights by area, etc. Finally, there's the performance aspect. We're in the optimization phase now, and I'm chopping and rewriting all sorts of things to try and get the frame time down. That's a lot easier when it's all CIG code, and we can move passes around, merge or split shaders, change internal formats, and so on. This guy says, in terms of percentage, how far would you say you are done towards what you would call complete optimization? I couldn't give a percentage yet. In terms of performance, we're past the big algorithmic improvements and into the painful profiling and squeezing stage, but it's still quite expensive, so I'm looking for more options. For memory usage, there are still some big savings in the pipeline. After that, I need to more thoroughly profile on a wider range of machines, both to check that optimizations hold up there and to fine tune the parameters to get the best bang for buck. Recently my main focus was getting the lighting shader cost down, as we tend to have a lot of lights per scene. Now the biggest cost is specular denoising, so I'm looking to squash that down. Besides that, there's just a lot of individually quite cheap passes that are copying, sorting, clearing, etc. That added together start being a cost in their own right. Do you think we're likely to see CIG's version of global illumination maybe within the first half of 2026? Currently my main priority is to get this performant enough for Squadron 42 and hammer out any edge cases and bugs that come up there. We try to avoid making predictions on how long tech will take to merge into a release branch, but we'll also need to thoroughly test it in PU and look for problems that it causes in a less constrained environment. I would like to see it in a tech preview release if we do another one of those, as you're all much better at breaking things. But at the moment, support requests for Persistent Universe would pull me away from Squadron's needs. There was a roadmap roundup with some interesting stuff. A loot refresh has taken place in 4.5. rebalancing the loot pools at various sandbox locations, and introducing previously Wicklow exclusive rewards to the loot pool. There's new ships on offer at Wicklow in 4.5. The Aegis Idris, the Anvil Asgard, the Prospector, the Argo Raft, and the Kruger L-21 Wolf, with upgraded components and unique base livery. A unique military Kruger L-21 Wolf can also be unlocked by completing other Wicklow ship offerings. In fact, a whole rebalance of effort required to earn Wicklow rewards has taken place. The RSI Meteor was added to the executive hangar for contested zones, and a big bunch of new attachments was added to the game, including low zoom volt optics with charge/heat measurement readings, low zoom Klaus and Werner scopes, new barrel attachments with scorched/tweaker power levels, as well as a new tactical volt flashlight. There's some new armours in the 4.5 build. This is the Palatino Shadow Guild. Some Guardian ship skins. And this is the Testudo Disrupt Camo, which is very interesting. And a matching Gladius skin. These are likely to be the patch bundle paints. And that is all the news we've got. I appreciate you tuning in. I might break from the weapons tests and do a full Spectrum Warrior tomorrow, so be sure to tune in for that. Until then, stay safe out there. 07 guys.